Hello everyone, I hope I find you well and looking forward to the festive season. Today I thought it would be nice to have a look at this absolutely fabulous 1:18 scale juvenile Triceratops from Creative Beast Studio. These of course are the Beasts of the Mesozoic range. So, I mean, they're really high quality figures and they come in really high quality packaging. So it'll be nice to have a quick look at the box and to show you who is responsible for creating these fantastic figures. All these very talented people here that David drafts in to help him to ensure that these figures are the highest possible quality they can be. And of course I think we'll have to say hello and thank you very much to everybody who works in the factory to produce these figures as well, because you've done an absolutely fantastic job. All the painters, all the manufacturers, everybody who's responsible for creating these things really has done a sterling job from start to finish. So it was definitely worthwhile waiting a little bit longer to get this incredible premium quality box for the figure as well. And within this you will also find a swampy background insert which pulls out and you can display the figure against, and there's also a lovely collector's card in there and a little information pamphlet which indicates that you should heat the tail of these figures up before you try to attach them to the body. So with the formalities over and done with, let's have a quick look at the figure itself. I'm not going to go through the range of articulation. We'll see at the minute I've just got it in a plain walking pose, but there is a lot of poses possible with these figures. If you want to check out how far it is possible to move these without breaking them, please check out David's own YouTube site, because he goes through the range of articulation for all of these figures. First off, I've never seen a Triceratops which looks quite like this. He's gone for a keratinous covering across the skull. At the time he was sculpting these, that was considered to be likely. It is now not so certain because skin impressions were apparently found associated with the frill. I'm not going to worry too much about that, it could be a different species. So I'm perfectly happy to have this beautiful keratinous covering on the skull here. It's a slightly odd transition between the muzzle and the keratin on the face. That's a little bit abrupt, but again, it's a lovely look for Triceratops. I'm not too worried about it. There has to be a bit of a concession to the articulation around the jaws and the cheeks, so obviously there's a bit of an abrupt transition there too. Some lovely wrinkling detail around this beautiful eye. The eye of this figure really is fantastically well done. It looks really alive, and of course it's done in a gloss coat to make it look bright and alive. It's beautiful blood red and yellow iris, really pops. Other companies who've tried doing that haven't really succeeded very well. They tend to look a bit mad, but in this case it looks really good. Looking inside the jaws here, you can see there are teeth inside the jaws, and there are some on the lower jaw too. In my particular example, those teeth aren't painted. I don't know if that's just a bit of an oversight on this particular figure, because on all my other ceratopsian figures, having looked in the mouths, you can just see at the top here, the teeth are painted. You can also see an incredible, very parrot-like tongue in that mouth there. I love the way they've done the occipitals around the frill here as well, because quite frequently they're picked out as sort of separate entities, and they weren't really, they were sort of integrated into the frill. Be interested to see how these things really did look in real life, because I've got a feeling that actually would be quite unexpected and spectacular. As you can see, the frill is very well painted, it's very even. Really well done. Again, there's a bit of a transition on the back of the frill between the skin of the back of the neck and the back of the keratin on the back of the frill. The bulk of this Triceratops figure is very appropriate. It's a really strong, solid figure, as it should be. And these figures have got a tremendous amount of heft to them. It's a really high quality material. It's very durable. So your Beasts of the Mesozoic should last a very long time. The articulation on this one is perhaps a little bit more abrupt than on some of the other figures, but it's not something I'm going to worry about too much. You can see that it's got the fantastic plate detail, which was published information at the time that David was sculpting these, and then this lovely pebbly skin as well. I'd have been tempted to maybe do these a different colour rather than just colouring them in with the rest of this fantastic pattern. Can't remember which species this is based on, this patterning, but it works really well for Triceratops and adds to the overall effect of this figure being extremely striking. Feet and the nails. The nails on this trike are painted all black. As you can see, it's just the inner three are and the outer ones aren't, which is as per modern archosaurs. Rolling it over, you can see that the belly skin's a little different. It's more crocodilian, which I think is also known in some species of dinosaur. So these lovely fine little cross-hatched scales here. It's all the more remarkable when you realise that David Silver sculpts every single one of these scales by hand, especially when you look at some of these larger figures. I love the way there's transition down this tail between the sort of pebbly scales to a more crocodilian tip, almost as if it's a little bit more armoured. That's a really, really nice touch. Absolutely fabulous stuff from Creative Beast Studio. Of course, being a premium figure, it's not really designed as a toy. These horns are quite sharp. You don't want to be giving this to anybody young. The figure retails at around £48.99. It is available from Everything Dinosaur. Thank you very much to Everything Dinosaur for getting these figures out to me so quickly. This quick size comparison. Here we have it with the old Papo Jurassic Park trike. Obviously a very, very dated figure, but still a very beautiful figure. Actually looks more like the trike from Jurassic Park than Kenner's own massive trike over here. Now the reason I've got this Kenner Triceratops, which is 27 years old, and the reason I've got her here is because this should give you a bit of an idea about how large David's full-sized Triceratops will be. It should be roughly to the scale with this one. So this one might be old and out of date, but it gives you a bit of an idea of how the adult version of this Triceratops will look. So I hope you've enjoyed having a quick look at this absolutely gorgeous trike with me, and if you're undecided, I hope this has helped you to decide whether to get one or not. And I've got several more of these amazing Beasts of the Mesozoic Ceratopsian series to have a look at, so I hope you will join me in the future videos to take a look at those too.